Alright, so this video deals with simplifying radicals. When you simplify radicals, guys, you will need this for Algebra 1. Alright, you will need this for Algebra 1. You guys already learned the simple, when you take the square root of numbers that you see most common. For instance, when you take the square root of 16, what's the answer? 4. If you take the square root of 25, what's the answer?
5.
When you take the square root of 121, what's the answer?
11.
So these are common ones. However, when you take a look at this right here, there's not two numbers that will give you the square root of 125. However, what you could do, there are simple things that you guys could do, and I need you guys to please pay attention. When this is the case right here, when you take the square root of 125, you have to break it down. Meaning, there's a couple things that you guys could do. You could take the square root of 125 and think about two numbers. Think about two numbers that will give you the product. Okay? So for instance, the factors of 125, we could say that these two could be 25 times 5. Well, when you think about what's 25 times 5? 125. Correct? So now what we could do, this is very important because this is another thing. If I take square root of 2 times square root of 3, this is the same thing as saying square root of 6. So if this is the case, I could separate these two radicals. I could say this is the same thing as square root of 25 times square root of 5. Do you guys see that? So notice what I did. Square root of 125. What are the two factors that give me the product of 125? You said 25 times 5. Well, notice that it's still under the radical. I could separate them, and this would be square root of 25 times square root of 5, because it means the same thing as 125. We good? Well, here, now we do understand because we went back to this here. What's the square root of 25? So I could rewrite this as 5 square root of 5, and this will be your answer. Please, it is important to note that when the number comes on the outside, this right here, if a number is next to a radical, I repeat, if a number is next to a radical, it is not addition, it is not subtraction, it is not division, it is what? It is what? It is what? It is multiplication. So anytime a number comes in the outside, it is being multiplied by whatever the number is in the outside. So for instance, I'm going to put something here. Ready? I'm going to put the number 3 here. Okay? Automatically, what's happening between the 3 and the square root of 80? It's being multiplied. Okay, so we could go ahead and break that down, break 80 down. Well, 80 is the same thing as 3 times the square root of what two numbers? 8 and 10. I'll take that. That's perfect. Now question. 8 and 10. Can we do anything with 8 and 10? No? Okay. Can we break down 8 though?
Yes.
Yes, we can. So this will be what? 3 square root of what? 4. Keep on going.
5
Times 2 times 10. Okay, I'll take that. Well, again, we could separate it, correct? So I could rewrite this as 3 times what? Square root of what? 4, right? Times what? 20. Did I lose anybody yet?
No.
All I'm doing, guys, is just manipulation. That's all I'm doing here. So I have 3 square root of 4, but I could look at this one here. I could break that one down even more. What two numbers will give me 20?
4 and 5.
4 and 5. Because we said 10 and 2, right? Can anybody tell me what do you think I didn't leave it as 10 and 2?
Because 3 can go into here.
It's repeating, but can I take the square root of 2?
No.
No. Can I take the square root of 10? No. But if I change 20 to square root of 4 times square root of 5, square root of 4 times square root of 5, is that 20? Can I take the square root of 4 now?
Yes.
Yes. So I broke it down all the way down. So now I'm going to work it out. 3. What's the square root of 4?
2.
2. What's the square root of 4 again?
2.
And we leave the square root of 5 alone. So what should be my final answer? 12 square root of 5. That should be my final answer. Because remember, I told you, anything that goes out, it's all multiplication, right? Anything that goes out. So let's think about this right here. 4 times 4 times 5 is the same thing as what? Square root of 80. Alright, so let's try this one here. Let's first work on the number right here. What two numbers can I do with 75?
7.5 and 10.
25 and 3.
25 and 3. So look what I'm doing here, guys. This is the same thing as 25 times 3. You guys saw it? Well, of course, this is what? X to the 4th, y to the 3rd. Correct? Well, we could break this down. Square root, oh, I shouldn't have done all of that. Sorry. Square root of 25, square root of 3, x 4, y 3. What's the square root of 25? 5 is the one that comes out. We know 3 stays inside. Right? Now, here it goes. How many times does 2 go into that 4?
2.
X to the 2nd. How many times does 2 go into the 3? Once. We need 1 inside. That's my final answer right here. That part was confusing? How many of you guys thought that part was confusing? What?
I did the whole thing. I'm gonna get it. I'm just not gonna remember it.
It's not about memorizing. It's about just, for instance, you know what square root of 81 is. 9. It's something that it should be coming back as like kind of like a habit. So let's think about this. 147. Now, 147, where do you think I will start? I'll tell you. You start doing what's called the divisibility rule. Meaning, if we think about this for a second, look at the last number first of all. The last number is an even or an odd number? Odd number. So we know it's not divisible by 2. Correct? So we strike that out. Well, let's think about the last number again. Is it 0 or 5? No, because if it was 0 or 5, it should be divisible by what? By 5. Right? So
It's not divisible by anything.
then we try the next number, which is 3. So go ahead and someone put in the calculator, what's 147 divided by 3?
49.
49? There you go. You see? So that's how you approach these numbers here. It was like, I know I cannot divide it by 2. I'm going to scratch that off. I'm not wasting my time. I know I cannot divide it by 5. The main common numbers that you guys should always start off is 2 and 5. If 2 and 5 doesn't work, then the next logical number is going to be 3. So this right here, guys, is the same thing as 3 times 49 M7 Q5. You guys see that? Alright, so now let's think about this. Can I take the square root of 3?
No.
What do you do with a 3?
Um,
Everyone say it. Just leave it inside. Everyone say it. Leave it inside. So what I'm doing, I'm leaving inside. The 3 is here. Well, can I take the square root of 49?
yes.
What is it?
7.
7 has to come what? Outside. Now, I want you guys to remember, there's a difference between this here. This is a what? The cube root, right? And if I write this down like this, even though you do not see it, there's a 2 there. Do you guys understand that? You got it? There's really a 2 here, even though you don't see it. So right here, we know there's a 2. So question is this. Yes?
Wait, why do we put the 7 on the outside?
Because look over here. We took the square root of 3. It's just square root of 3. Stays inside. What's the square root of 49?
7.
That's where it comes out. So now, we know what number is right here, guys.
2.
I only hear like 2 students. What number is here? All right, so question is this. How many times does 2, listen up, go into that 7? 3 times. That's how we get m to the 3rd. Well, what's left over? Think about like subtraction. It's just m, just 1. Remember this? Here, that's just really a 1. You don't have to write it, but it's a 1. So, how many times does 2 go into the 5? So this will be Q what? 2. Is anything left over? Just Q1. That's my answer. It's not that bad.
I can do it if I remember the steps.
What happened? We're going to do one more. 2 more. All right, think about this. Ready? Again, let's look at the 7. Listen up. Listen up. If this is a 2, this is a 2 right here, right? How many times does 2 go into that 7? 3. That's how we get the 3. Well, there has to be something left over, right? What's left over? That's how it's m to the 1. Again, let's think about this. How many times does 2 go into that 5? Q to the 2nd. There's something left over. It's Q1. That's where it stands at. You guys see it? So let's try another one. This is going to be, ready? 200 x 7 y 9 p 3. P3. So here we go. Give me 2 factors that will give me the product of the 200. 2 times what? 100. 100 times 2. So look, I'm rewriting it, guys. Here we go. This is 100 times 2 times x7 times y9 times p3. Remember, all of this is multiplication, correct? So, question, let's do this. We're going to do a radical. What number is in the outside right here in this radical? 2. So, what's the square root of 100?
50. Wait, what am I saying? 10.
10, that's okay. 10.
Sorry.
What's the square root of 2? Can we do square root of 2?
No.
So, we leave it in the inside.
Yeah.
Everyone's clear on that?
What if you could do the square root of both?
Huh?
What if you could do the square root of both numbers?
Then the whole thing comes out.
Okay.
Then the whole thing comes out too. So now, let's think about this. You guys said this was a 2, right? So question, how many times does 2 go into the 7?
3.
So it'll be x to the what? Is there anything left inside then?
1.
Just a 1, so it'll be just x. I don't have to write the 1.
But it's just
If you want to, it's not wrong, but it's helpful. I'll write the 1 if you want me to. Question, how many times does 2 go into the 9? 4?
Yeah.
Y to the what? Anything left inside? Just y. How many times does 2 go into that 3? 1. So it'd be just p to the what? You just said 1. 1. What's inside? P. That's your answer right there. That's your answer. Guys, one more?
I think I get it.
All right, I'll get this one here, the last one. 64 M4 Y 16.
What if you do 8 times 8? What if you do 8 times 8 and then find the square root?
It's not bad.
Could we do 8 times 8 and then
Well,
could we do them like that so you know how to do it?
all right. Who could tell me? Well, who could tell me the end result? What should be the final answer? I want you guys to work it out quietly and raise your hand if you think you have the answer. I got 1, 2, 3. Go ahead, my man.
I think it's 4.
It's what's your whole answer? What's your final answer? Yes, sir.
8 and 2 y 8. Right?
Say it again.
8 and 2 y 8 and q squared y to the 8th power.
You got it.
Yeah.
Well, guys, look up real quick. Ready? Let's look. Everyone look up. Can we take the square root of 64, yes or no?
Yes.
What is it? 8. Question, what number is in the outside right here?
2.
How many times does 2 go into the 4?
2.
Anything left over? No. What number is here again?
2.
How many times does 2 go into 16?
8.
Is there anything left over?
No.
That's my final answer.
I have a question.